Alright, this is a team battle where each player gets 1,500 point list and you're randomly paired. So each team will be 3,000 points total and you never know who you're going to be playing with. You also do not get to bring a dispel scroll. Each team is given a dispel token. This game is meeting engagement with no reserves. And additionally, one unit per player gets a token. You'll see it in the pictures as a blue token that grants frenzy. If the unit is already frenzied, they gain one additional attack. So this can turn out to be pretty huge later. Furthermore, if you keep your token unit alive, you get 125 points up to twice. And for each token unit you kill, you get 125 points apiece. I'm just going to show you my list because it's really hard to list all three of the other players' lists. You'll pretty much get an idea of it. I brought a level 4 metal weaver. I brought a unit of Glade Guard with True Flight, a unit with Hagbane, 2 units of Wild Riders, some Sisters, kind of as a backup mage, but they're also pretty much useful in any phase. 3 Warhawk Riders, 2 units of Way Watchers, and 2 Great Eagles. I did want to note that when I show you my opponent's deployment or my teammate's deployment, you'll actually not see his Hell Cannon, which is actually off in the corner far away. It really doesn't do a whole lot during the game, but I did want to mention that before we got started. Guys, here's the left flank of my team. In the top left corner, you see a Great Eagle. You see a couple of Wild Riders, a couple of Sisters of the Thorn. You see his big block of, I believe they're Forsaken. In front of that, you see some Way Watchers and a Gorbeast Chariot. Behind the fence, you see 13 Glade Guard with my level 4 Spellweaver. Then next to the right of them, you see 5 Wild Riders. In front of them, you see the Warhawk Riders. There's the blue Great Eagle, and then in front of them are 5 Chaos Warhounds. This is the right side of their deployment from our angle. Right there, you have 10 Silver Helms. To the right of that, you have 10 Archers. To the right of that, you have a Noble on a Griffin, and behind him is a White or Lion Chariot. There's the Bolt Thrower. Behind that little marsh are some Halberdiers and a small detachment of Halberdiers, and behind that wall back there is a cannon. This is the left side of his deployment from our angle. 10 Archers, Steam Tank, 10 more Archers, a big block of Inner Circle Knights with great weapons, and he has, I believe, his Wizard, his General, and his BSB in that unit as well. In that house is some like 15 more Archers, high Elf Archers, and a level 4 Wizard with the Book of Hoenn. Alright, we got first turn, and this is the end of our turn. Didn't get a whole lot accomplished. We charged his Pistoliers. They fled. The Sisters of Thorn moved up and plunked a couple of wounds off of the Pistoliers. They really couldn't do a whole lot. The Chariot went straight into some Archers. He was only managed to kill 5 though, and he had enough to stay around for Steadfast. That's unfortunate. I did get a couple of wounds off of that Knight bus right there. Just, I think, with some Way Watcher shooting and maybe a spell. This is the right side of the table after turn 1. I moved up the Warhawk Riders. I'm hoping to charge that cannon next turn. Yes, it's behind a wall, but I need to take that out early because I know it can do some damage. I'm in that marsh. I'm hoping that those Halberdiers won't charge me. I know that marsh can mess them up pretty badly. And I'm just going to flee if he does. But otherwise, if he doesn't, I'm going to take out that cannon. The Way Watchers moved into that building down there and took a wound off of the Bolt Thrower. That's good, but I was really hoping to kill it. So now I'm probably about to get charged by that Griffin. Those spiders are actually Chaos Dogs, and they're going to move up to redirect those Silver Helms. I've knocked off quite a few of those Silver Helms with, I think, magic and shooting. This is his turn, their turn 1. He rallies the Pistoliers and uses Feigned Flee to come back around and shoot off my Great Eagle. So that's unfortunate. He flank charged the Gorbeast Chariot with some Archers. However, the Gorbeast Chariot still won that combat, finished off those High Elves, and then reformed. He kept the Steam Tank still. I'm not really sure why, but I think he just wanted to dump all of his steam points into shooting. He shot at the Hell Cannon and failed to. I think he ward saved it. Also, he shot his cannon and it misfired and blew up. So that's great. Here he does not charge the halberdiers into the Warhawk riders. That turns out to be not that big of a deal because the cannon blew itself up behind the wall. He did charge his griffin, his noble on a griffin, into the building. Killed quite a few Way Watchers, but I still had two. Somehow I kept two alive. So they stick on a steadfast 8, and it's looking like a pretty good. He doesn't get a whole lot accomplished, so this is a good turn for us. All right, this is the top of our turn 2. Those sisters come back around and polish off those pistoliers. I move my Wild Riders a lot, getting them around that statue. The Gore Beast kind of just has a pillow fight with the those couple of remaining archers, and he continues to move his chosen up, trying to bait a charge into. Well, that eagle is in front of his night bus. I'm trying to redirect, but he's so close to the building that when he charges the eagle, he can't actually close the door. So we kind of ruled it that the great eagle is going to have to close the door. So that kind of really messes up my plans. I was hoping to redirect him, but now I've just basically given him a free charge into either my Wild Riders or my or the chosen if he's able to kill the eagle and overrun. So we'll see what happens there. Here's the right side of the table. The Squirrel Riders charge the detachment of halberdiers, kill them to the man and overrun, and just leave the big block of halberdiers stranded. Way Watchers shoot off a couple of silver helms and then get out of the building first, and then so they get away from that noble on the griffin. So he doesn't really have anywhere to go now. He's just staring at a big tower. And some Glade Guard off screen with Hagbane arrows shoot off the bolt thrower. So we don't really score a whole lot of points this turn, but we do get a lot of models off the table. So we're feeling pretty good now. Furthermore, on the left side of the table, we actually get final transformation off on the big night bus and just absolutely devastate them. We kill like 5 of them. All of the characters survive, unfortunately, but we kill about 5 of those guys off, and that combined with some Way Watcher shooting just really whittled that night bus down to just I think like not about half of its starting size. Okay, as figured, the knights charge into the Great Eagle, and because they can't close the door to me, I have to close the door to them. That's really unfortunate. However, they murder the eagle and overrun, but don't quite overrun far enough to get into my Wild Riders. So that's great, and now they're lined up for a perfect sandwich charge. So those guys are in real big trouble. The steam tank finally decides to get into some combat, gets into that Gore Beast chariot, kills it, and also panics my Way Watchers. So he takes off a Gore Beast chariot and gets my Way Watchers fleeing. So that's not good. On the right side of the table, not a whole lot. He actually forgets to move his noble on a griffin, but he does get his chariot around there, who's creeping up on my some Glade Guard that are right below that wall. Those 2 Way Watchers get charged by those 10 High Elves, and so they flee and get away. The High Elf on unit in the building to the left. And again, I failed to mention this last turn, but he really doesn't get any magic off. He may get like 1 magic missile off. I think he may knock off a Wild Rider or 2, but he really doesn't. His magic phase are pretty big whiffs. All right, this is the top of turn 3. We, of course, the Forsaken and the Wild Riders just kill pretty much all of those Inner Circle Knights, break them, and the only thing that's alive now is the General and a Champion, and they're fleeing towards the board edge. My Way Watchers rally, and so all he has left right now on this entire side of the board is just that steam tank. Who I did manage to get 1 wound off of it. I think I may have hit it with a Searing Doom or something, but we do have 1 wound on the steam tank, and things are looking pretty good. Alright, this is the bottom of turn 3. I just took a quick pick of the right side. I had moved my Wild Riders over here earlier and buffed them with a spell to hopefully maybe clean up some points on this side of the table. He again does not move his Griffin. He does charge some Glade Guard that are just off screen to the south with his Chariot, and handily clean. I believe I flee, but he rolls a really high charge and catches me and knocks me out. So he did score some points there. But the Way Watchers, they get charged by those few remaining High Elves, and they stand and shoot, kill a couple of them, and the High Elves archers failed to make it to the Way Watchers, so that was great. And this is the final pick of the game. Of course, his hero and champion don't rally; they run off the table. They're actually dead. But the steam tank decides to go all out and put 5 points into its engine, and is going to just blow into those chosen. But he actually misfires and goes kaboom. He blows up. I believe he wipes out a unit of High Elves next to him, but he does wipe out a unit of Wild Rider, that one Wild Rider that was left standing. So he does pick up some points, but he does more harm than good at that point. So that's game, and we called it at the bottom of turn 3. They only had, I believe, some halberdiers that were way off in space with nothing to do, a noble on a griffin, and his wizard in the tower. All right, the final score is 2085 to 680. Wood Elf and Warriors win. Furthermore, we got all of the objectives and protected all of our objectives. So I believe that's another 600 points so it's about a over 2,000 point win. Huge win. Final thoughts. Can't really call them out on anything. I think all the lists were fairly even, but man, Warriors and Wood Elves are just a brutal combination. You know, he brought a really heavy combat list, and I brought a really shooty, magic-y avoidance list, and they just did work. Furthermore, the Empire player rolled 2 critical misfires that resulted in both of his machines exploding. So I mean, what can you do? Not, I don't really think we can take anything away from this, other than, I mean, I feel like my list is pretty sharp for the upcoming bromance tournament where it's all doubles. I just kind of really hope I get paired with Warriors, because they can do work in combat, and I like having them in front of me when I'm shooting. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.